right. Hey, everybody. We're back again. Who are we, Thomas?
We're Power and Speed. Can I have a minute? I'm posting on our Facebook that we're live right now.
Go ahead, Tom.
Give everybody a little, advance notice.
Please, finish up.
I literally just did it.
Did you really?
Such losers. My God.
You're busy talking about Andrea, whatever.
Tanteros?
Yeah, and some rather strange things that you're fascinated with, but we don't need to get into that on this. Because
probably shouldn't.
I don't want to have to hit the explicit box.
Probably shouldn't.
Hi, Tad.
I'm...
yeah, the microphone.
I just bring that over here. Yeah. Anyway.
All right, who are we, Todd?
Power and Speed.
I'm going to make you try to do Tom's part.
Yeah, go ahead.
Or like I said, it should be Power and Feed, but like us on Facebook and iTunes, and I don't have the number.
Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat.
Anyway, and share it and like get other people to like us and follow us.
Yeah, I said something last week to these goofballs.
Do we have Snapchat?
I don't know. I don't even know what Snapchat
I don't
is.
either.
I'm a white old guy.
Me too. My kids
Ditto.
If you guys hear a show, or hear an episode that you like on Facebook, share it, because I didn't realize how much that helped. And I guess kind of no brainer that when we have a guest and the guest puts it on his stuff, then all of a sudden you see that page views go up, downloads go way up, like first day downloads, because everybody sees it. So that's probably beneficial if more people would do that. And I know, Tom, you never even shared it on your own personal page. I don't know what the hell you're doing.
Well, that one time.
I'm going to have to revisit your usefulness.
Okay.
I'm really going to have to.
You should give me a couple weeks off.
You might have to. I might send you someplace horrible like Abu Dhabi or something.
Yeah, you probably should.
Now, you are leaving for that, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm leaving Monday after Easter. Yep, going there for
Shits and giggles.
8 days.
And that's for the custom show.
Yeah,
right?
Custom Show Emirates. Shout it out to Custom Show Emirates, my boys in the Middle East. It's going to be a good time. Got a lot of stuff going on there between the show, the engine competition, some meetings with some pretty important people. A lot of stuff going on.
All right.
It's going to be fun.
Is this is the thing that Howard won? Yeah. Howard from Redline Motorsports. Yep. He won the championship, or
yes.
And now they're going to use you. Hinted a little bit about it. What are they going to do? What's the contest?
Well, you build an engine in front of the crowd, and then you put it in a car, and you have 10 dyno poles, and whoever wins it, whoever has the best average power, wins both engines.
And just so the listeners are clear, first shot on a dyno. So you build it, you put it in the car, you tune it. You don't run it, you tune it.
Well, you put a tune in it that you think is going to work.
That you think is going to be good.
And you get on a dyno and your first pull counts.
Yep. And then it's average of those pulls.
Yep.
So if you've got a bad one because you made a mistake.
Yeah. As an example, last year, Howard, I knew Howard would be good. And he put a good tune in the thing. And I don't remember the exact numbers, but let's say his first pull was 540. And the other guy's pull was like 511. And that was it.
Yeah, it was over.
Yeah, because you just can't make that up. It's not like that guy was going to make 600 ultimately. He ended up right around where Howard's first pull was. And Howard picked up like 18 in 10 pulls.
I remember you saying something like, you should come over there. You should.
I told you.
I couldn't even begin, because it's not what I do.
Yeah, I know.
To pick a tune, to look at a motor. I could probably get somewhere close, but to pick a tune, it'll run, but be good?
No.
You got to give those guys a lot of credit that can do that.
I know. That's experience.
Yeah.
The guys that are coming this year are they're not Howard in the LS world,
mm-hmm.
but in the tuning world, Jay Marr from Real Street is the bomb. He's as smart as they get.
Be careful not to offend Tad, because I could already see he was getting a little agitated.
Yeah.
Okay.
By you not,
I know,
bringing up Junior.
Well, Junior's the man.
Yep.
No doubt. He's one of the best tuners probably on the planet.
I have a shirt, by the way.
I know. I gave it to you, schmuck.
It was kind of funny the way you're holding that shirt. I was going to make a comment that holding the shirt in front of you was a good idea because you were so excited, but I just...
Yeah, right. Covering it up.
Well, he's the best, so...
That's really... And
I showed him the picture of you holding the shirt up in Texas. I saw him and Lance from Cobb were standing there and walked over, said, hey. Showed him the picture. He's like, Tad is just shot.
Special case,
yeah.
I think is what he said. Yeah. Well, speaking of Junior and speaking of Texas,
yep,
you were there.
I was.
Junior was actually there. with a car that I didn't know he had.
Yeah. He bought an underground Gallardo Lambo, and he had it trailered down and drove it around. It was at the hotel, parked in the valet area, because he's a baller. And his first round race, he broke the front diff. And he lost the race. And, his joke was, and it's probably true, he's like, not only did I break the car, but I lost the race. And before I was on the return road, it was on the internet already. Poor guy.
But he broke the front?
Yeah. Why?
Somebody says the fronts are worthless. Well, you don't need them.
Okay.
You're
picking a fight with Mike?
It's not a good idea. Especially this week.
Probably, yeah. Not with your Roy Rogers background.
My God.
Cowboy cash, man.
So yeah, he broke the front diff. It was on the internet like 30 seconds afterwards, and he was done.
Now this is a roll race, right? Like like, explain the format of this again.
I think he broke it in a drag race. I think roll racing was over. The first 2 days of roll race.
Okay.
All right. So how it works is, and listen, I am far from the expert in roll race, but and it's at Royal Purple Dragway. It's like Englishtown. There's a tower that goes over the track, and you literally roll through under the tower, and you're picking up speed past the Christmas tree, and there's an area where you have to be within one car of each other, and you have to be, I think, going between 55 and 60, and whoever's watching it and all the cameras and sensors or whatever the hell they do, it's satellite, who knows what they do, but if you get a green light, you then accelerate. So that would be like cutting a light. And you run for 1,500 feet.
And it's who gets there first.
It's who gets there first.
So the mile per hour in ET doesn't matter.
No, in fact, the guys who won T1, their GTR, their, I don't know if it's their number 2 car or if it's one of the guys that works there's car, 1,600 wheel horse. I believe he went 197. He took out the number 1 qualifier in the final. That guy Jason Mullet, something or other. He's got, he actually, funny job he has. I never knew it. He expedites passports.
Really?
I didn't even know that was a job. But he's got.
Listen, if you got to deal with anything with the government, somebody that knows their way around has to be helpful.
Well, he must be helpful because he's got the Gallardo.
Yeah.
3 GTRs.
Okay.
A 4 GT. It's just a crazy collection of really fast shit.
Maybe we found a job that's worth looking into.
Yeah. Why can't we do that?
I got other things in the works.
I know we do.
I got my sights set on Donald. Keep looking, buddy. I'm right behind you.
Good.
Well, way behind you, but I am behind you.
Yeah. But you're running.
Work your way up.
So, anyway, yeah, you roll through, you hit it, and
so is it supposed to simulate like highway racing? Is that?
Yeah. Yep.
Which always stank, as far as I was concerned.
Yeah, I've never done that.
There's always front wheel drive guys because they can't launch. They can't get a 60-foot.
The highway roll racing is pretty cool. Out there, it's literally crazy. I mean, when you're out there, it's so cool because Houston becomes this place where wherever you go, you see several 1,000 and up horsepower street driven cars all over the place.
And you said there were actually not at this thing, but just in the general area, tons of trucks.
Oh yeah. That's just on another subject.
Yeah.
Like in Texas, it's crazy. There's more trucks than cars. I don't know. I mean, we should be all over building truck stuff as a company.
That's way back in the day.
Well, I mean, the motor stuff is the motor stuff, and unless you're talking about the diesel stuff, is it primarily diesel?
Well, it's a lot of diesel. Yeah. And the diesel guys are crazy.
Oh yeah.
Rolling coal.
Well, yeah, you know that. And they make so much power.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane.
We had that discussion about when Crunch was looking at a dually, which I know he didn't get a diesel.
Right.
But I mean, you could buy a brand new Dodge there, or isn't it the Dodge made 900 or the Ford made 900? I think the Dodge did.
I heard, somebody made 800.
Makes 900 from the factory.
Crazy.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
It's literally crazy. And, I mean, what is a 454? What do they put 502s in them now? 454s? I don't even know what they put in.
What, in the trucks?
In the gas truck.
I have no clue.
I mean, what could they possibly make? 350 foot-pounds?
Maybe.
I mean, you could tow one horse or something.
I don't know.
Well, weren't they putting in it as like a 502 block with a new updated heads and intake manifold or something?
Yeah, whatever. But how much torque could it make? It's a gas motor. 400?
They thereabouts.
I mean, Mike's Corvette makes more than that.
Does?
I think
I wouldn't bet on it.
Well, maybe not.
I
Mike.
really think that thing's a turd.
Maybe not Mike's.
Well, Roy's pointed it out. Hey, that's one of those 427s, ain't it?
Yeah, the manager at Roy's was enamored.
Yeah.
And I was like, great.
Yeah, he's like, that's supercharger?
Yeah. Is that the supercharged 427? I wish. No, GM never did that because they're stupid.
Yep.
I don't know. We'll have to get on the GM path at some point.
Well, we discussed this, and I think we got to do it. Since we're on it, let's ask the listeners. We want to have a segment of the show where we do nothing but make fun of GM.
Well, I'm going to go a little further than that. During the week, I've gotten so irritated. You know what it is? I become the cranky old guy. I'll be the guy that any minute starts yelling at people like stay off his lawn.
So that word that you use all the time, curmudgeon.
Curmudgeon.
I never even heard that word, but no.
Oh, wow.
Very fitting.
I thought you guys made it up. So that's you?
That's me.
Okay.
I think I want to I'm going to make it a mission that I'm going to start calling GM and try to find a number inside to talk to people who actually make decisions, because I'm sure that
like in the design center.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
I mean, that'd be one place to look.
Absolutely.
And the package, on the package level too, like who decides what car gets what engine, those guys? Because I know what you're thinking already. I know.
I mean, there has to be a reason. And what everybody always says, it's they. They say, I want to know who they is.
Well, they are a bunch of morons.
Right. Because the people that are the collective they that say things won't sell might want to look around.
Right.
I mean, the reason that people don't buy SUVs is because they're horrible on gas.
Yep.
But if you could buy a diesel SUV, like the wildly popular and still extremely sought after Excursion, like that thing I have out there.
Yep.
Go look on eBay. Look what them things up.
I know. Crazy.
It's shocking.
It is.
What people are getting for them. People are actually
shocking, Tad.
Shocking.
People are taking the gas ones and converting them to diesel.
Yep.
Just to get this.
Yep.
There's even a company that apparently is making all new guts to go inside an earlier Excursion to power one of the newer style of motors that fits. I mean, they've gone out of control, like dashboard to make it look like pretty much new inside.
So, I mean, what do they need? Like lights are flashing, bells are going off, people are doing stuff. Well, that company in Florida.
Yeah, Duramax.
They put Duramax engines in Suburbans. I mean, are you kidding? Somebody makes they have everything in place. All they got to do is drop a Suburban body on a 2500 frame, right?
There might be some, floor pan issues, like maybe the way things are laid out. There could, but I mean,
it's not like starting from fucking ground zero.
No, and my argument would be
the F word.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, I know you don't.
That's okay.
I do.
My argument would be is that if you could do a crew cab pickup, how far off an Excursion, either an Excursion or a Suburban are you?
Well, you're not. That's our point. It's insane.
I mean, don't you just have to build the back of the fucking truck?
I think you just gotta. You know what's funny? Let's talk about this. So during the Gulf War, the Hummer became really, really popular.
Oh, you think?
So they went out.
I think that's been popular for a very long time. Oh,
that's true. I mean the truck.
Okay.
But you are right. So they went out and built tooling to make that H2 thing, and it literally fell right on top of a Tahoe frame. And they got like $12,000 more for it. Brilliant. Whoever thought that was brilliant? I mean, the thing's ugly as sin, but people bought them. So why couldn't that guy probably got fired?
Well, one of the listeners, Jeff, my boy Jeff the fireman.
Yep.
He brought up that GM used to make a diesel Suburban, and they used to make diesel pickups with that same motor. The problem is that if you got out and ran next to the truck, you could get to where you were going faster. They were terrible. They are nothing. I mean, Jeff, honestly, if people have not been in a modern diesel and they have stuck in their head, like probably like
the
I
old
did.
6.2s, those things are turds.
Yeah, I mean, you get misconceptions. You make assumptions based on what you knew. I mean, if you got in, and my thing is okay. It's peppy, it's good, it's fun, it feels good. Like when you jump on it, like it's weird having a truck that big. You get on the throttle and the thing like torques up and lifts on the front end.
Yeah.
You got a tune in it though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I got it leaned on pretty hard.
Yeah.
And then when you close the throttle, it like settles down in the front end and everything. It's funny. And like you go over like speed bumps and jump on it and it gets it's a blast.
It's fun.
Well,
That thing probably makes, I don't know, 550 foot-pounds of torque.
Sure.
Imagine if it had 1,200, like a tuned new Dodge.
Imagine
Fit.
what a little bitch you were. I mean, remember how bad you were driving home from that street race because the thing went bad and you had to take the tune out of it.
Listen,
And you're like, this thing sucks.
it's so
fuse,
bad.
but-
It's so bad with no tune that I could see that might have hurt sales of that truck back then, because and you say, well, you're used to it, but I drove it around. I think for a day or two before I fixed that with the stock tune in it, like I didn't put it back. And it was hard to pull out in front of things because not that it was slow, but it took forever to come up to boost. I think injector timing is really messed up. Like everything is very conservative. And the funny thing is, and I guess this is where emissions go back and forth with performance, because with the better tunes in it, it gets better mileage by a ton.
Sure.
By a ton. But I'm sure now that thing's unique. No catalytic converters, no nothing. Wasn't required. I don't have to go through state inspection.
All right, we're off the rails a little bit because, we can't buy that anymore.
I know we can't buy
Nobody
that anymore.
can.
But why aren't Ford had to have data, and everybody with Ford or GM could certainly look up the cost. Find me 100,000 mile 7.3 or 6.0 even, and they suck Excursion on eBay. If it's in good shape, look what they go for.
Well, funny thing is, Jeep just came out with that Cherokee with a diesel in it for some reason.
Yeah, but that thing's a Fiat diesel, isn't it? Or some Italian diesel?
What's the difference? What kind of diesel it is?
It's very small and anemic.
Are you going to Roy Rogers?
No.
Get us a roast beef sandwich.
Oh, jeez.
We'll get into Tad's Roy Rogers thing at the end of the
Hey,
show.
completely off the subject. I got to say two words.
Yeah.
Soulless performance.
Okay, who's that?
I just had to say that.
Why?
Oh, because he knows. He knows who it is.
Sponsor?
Okay.
No, he's listening.
Digging in his pocket?
No, but he better be sending me a shirt pretty soon. That's all I got to say.
We don't even want to start with you about shirts, but let's go back.
Yeah, I know.
Here's what I want to know. Where are the GM and Ford design centers?
Ford, I think, might be in Lansing. GM is in Warren.
So they're in Detroit.
Yeah, they're in Detroit.
We have listeners in Detroit.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
We talked about this.
Oh, here it comes.
I've got a potential cash reward for listeners. I'm going to figure out what this has to say, but I think I'm going to require the listener to go buy a king-size white bed sheet. And
It's probably going to take two people to do this.
okay, two people.
A listener and his buddy.
I ain't doubling the money. I kind of got a number in mind.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna come up with phrasing of what I want on here. I want one done at Ford, one done at GM, and they have to get a picture in front of the building with the sign. Hold it up.
Well, GM would be at the Tech Center in Warren. That's
Okay.
where they do it. And yeah, I mean, well, you know what? It's going to be something like diesel Suburban now.
Yeah, power and speed.
Power and speed. We need a diesel Suburban now. You guys are morons.
I would put like a middle finger on it, but that's probably not good to get our point across.
How about the middle finger that you got in our text?
Yeah,
that's a little
that would be funny.
off kilter.
I would like the white middle finger that we got.
Text back and
our
forth.
text back and forth.
But I mean, I'm serious. Like this, I mean, I know it's not going to do any good, but it would just make me feel better.
Well,
'Cause
it'd be awesome.
for weeks on end, every day, 2 or 3 times a day, I was hating on Ford, Chrysler, and GM about the same thing. And like, all the GM ones that they would answer, I direct it to those like customer care department. They never even answered.
Yep.
They're just like, blow it off.
Yep.
Could there be anything wrong with this that they're not making it? Does it hurt their mileage because it's not classified as a truck? I mean, my Excursion's classified as a truck because it's so heavy, because of the weight. So, I mean, I think that puts them out of the fuel requirements, or if they
well, the Suburban would be the same thing. I mean, a Range Rover's in that classification. I think it's 5,500 pounds.
So I can't imagine that has anything to do with their emission standards.
No, they're just idiots. And case in point, I'm at TX2K and I'm looking at cars. And I mean, there were some unbelievable cars there. I sent you a couple pictures. But I mean, looking at Lambos, looking at Audis, looking at all kinds of stuff, looking at some domestic stuff.
I heard there were a few GTRs there.
Yeah, there's a couple GTRs. They are badass. So I'm looking at the Mustang. The new Mustang, I seriously think it's awesome. The new Challenger. And then you look at a Camaro.
Nah.
And they're just ugly. And then, worse than that, there's a lot of CTSV guys out there that for some reason like that 2-door V.
Oh, the coupe.
Oh my God, it's hard. I took a picture of one just to so I could remember how ugly it is all the time.
I like it. But, hey.
Shut his mic off. What team is he on?
I have an idea, but I'm not going to.
Alex Subaru,
I kind of promised certain hate groups that I wouldn't say that anymore.
True. I don't know. Listen, every week, we got to come up with a name for it. Like, GM Follies, GM's,
Well, what we should do is during the week is I'm
call them up.
Pretty good at working on my feet.
Yep.
If we can figure out numbers to call, if somebody can get me numbers.
I can get some numbers. I'm sure.
I'll call them and record them.
Somebody knows somebody.
And I know you're not supposed to do that because you're not authorized to do it. But, look, when you call those places, a lot of times they say this call's being recorded for quality assurance. You say, I'll just say to them, this call's being recorded for quality assurance. And if they say, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Same thing.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That's all you got to say is, yeah, me too.
Yeah, say nice, me too.
Ditto.
And let's see if we could goof on some people.
That'd be great.
See if we get some stupid answers.
Well,
like, is the guy that designed a Camaro there? Well, no, you really can't talk to that department. Well, why not? Are they still in high school?
Yeah.
Or there's no recess?
Got a lobotomy?
Mommy made him go back to the basement?
They're on vacation.
What happened?
They're on vacation in the Arab Emirates.
Yeah, we could have some fun with that. But like what I'm going to do before everybody gets all wound up here, that like all they got to do is show up at GM and take a shirt, and I don't want to see any Photoshop and shit either because I'll figure it out. If they send a picture in, the first person that does it, and obviously don't go doing it now, wait until I tell you what it's got to be on there. The first person that does it, I will have a nice cash reward. I will actually FedEx you some green money.
Money.
And I'm not talking about $25 neither. So we'll see.
Let's talk about the money part of it.
Okay.
Let's talk about maybe
Cowboy cash?
Shut up. Damn it. Starting at like $100 just to get a picture.
Okay.
And what if they could get it on TV somehow?
Ooh. Like if we had a T-shirt and it was
double
on
it,
TV?
triple it,
like on a live view. Nothing would be better if like.
Imagine if they got on Fox News, we'd have to give them $500.
Yeah, that would be great. See, but then you got to make sure it's not too profane because if you're walking around with it, they try to stop you.
No, it's just going to say power and speed. We need a, something diesel Suburban.
Power and speed wants diesel. What?
Yeah, we'll write something up.
I get up on that for TV appearance. I'd do that.
Yeah, I guess I would too.
I'd do that.
So we'll start at 100 for just a generic picture, two guys holding a bed sheet.
Yeah.
Local TV, and they'd have to provide the video
of it.
2.5.
Because that when you find live feeds are so easy to disrupt.
I know.
I mean, you see it all over YouTube.
I know.
God, that'd be so bad.
2.5 for local TV, and we could probably parlay that into something on Trump's timeline. And
Oh God, could you imagine?
Man,
Oh, that would be good.
Maybe that's the thing. If any of our guys are like rally goers,
yeah,
on one side of the sign have Trump, on the other side, and if they see the camera ever turn around and show the crowds, they could flip it around and see
power and speed. I hope we got a lot of Trump guys out there.
I think we do. I don't know. I mean, honestly, my weekend was awful. I fell asleep with like MSNBC on my TV, and I think Bernie Sanders brainwashed me in the morning. I got up. I was embarrassed to drive my car.
Really?
I felt like I should give money to everybody I saw. Like,
Damn, where was I?
So unfair.
Yeah, maybe we can accuse him of that.
Did you get rid of any of your guns?
No.
I would have taken some.
No, Bernie said I can keep my guns. He's all right with that.
Oh, okay.
Bernie said that.
Which one would you given away first?
Muzzle loader, probably.
The Kimber.
No, the Kimber.
The Kimber.
No doubt.
But it's, like the whole political thing. I mean, at some point we're going to have to talk about it because people do bring it up. And I know it's hot button for everybody. And it's turned out to be more hot button than I've ever realized. But, there are some things here that the car guys really need to understand. And I know that you're going to look at it and say, well, that's not what drives me every day. But understand this. Half of the reason that we just had the discussion about maybe GM can't make the Suburban and diesel, and maybe Ford can't make this, is because of what? EPA restrictions. For the most part, they do not come from our Republican friends. They come from the planet-saving hippies of the Democratic Party. And don't forget, the EPA, what was that thing they said? They were going to stop making street cars being able to be turned into race cars?
You couldn't put anything onto your car.
Yep.
By the way, our listeners are asking about bail money already.
Yeah.
Bail money. Listen, I am not Donald Trump. You go beating somebody up or doing something stupid, you're getting locked up, and that's it. Send me a picture from jail. I'll send you another $50. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not bailing anybody out of jail or providing attorneys. There's perfectly good public defenders for that, I'm sure.
Yeah, real good.
So the EPA thing, it does threaten what we like as a hobby. Now, in fairness, I have not heard too many positions on the EPA from any candidate. I know they say that the Republicans say that they'll loosen restrictions, but they're primarily talking about, coal generation and all different power generation types and, because it's hurting business. But I don't know if they're talking about automakers. And I would really hate to be at the point where we are like this California Air Resource Board country, that it gets that bad.
That would suck.
Because aren't the fines out there really big?
Sure.
Like if you get caught with like just a stupid air filter on your car you shouldn't have?
Well, they're big enough that people don't take chances. I mean, everything obviously has to be CARB approved, which is not that terribly hard to do, I don't believe. It's a cash grab. Is all it
Okay.
is.
Well, see, now I've been very nice to Alan, my stupid friend, but now he just wrote on here, the EPA was created by a Republican, Nixon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which Google did he use?
He might very well be correct.
I'm not a crook.
Because I am not anywhere near politically motivated as that retard. Although I am now. But let me tell you this, Alan. There's been a lot of things that people put in that were going to be wonderful to help everybody, and it was going to be a peaceful place, and the world is going to be beautiful, and puppies and rainbows are going to fall out everybody's ass. It's not what happens. There's a good idea.
I don't think they fall out of people's asses.
Well, shoot out of their ass then. I don't know how they come out of their ass.
I don't know. Okay, whatever.
Mike's on a different level.
Yeah, he must be.
When they introduced things like the EPA, I'm sure it was, put forth for a good reason. They noticed that some things were getting out of control. I didn't particularly mind going to a racetrack and, smelling everybody's racing gasoline or
I love it.
I remember what cars used to smell like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I was behind an older car the other day and I was like, God, that's 1980 or 79 or whatever. I kind of knew.
Oh, remember regular gas? There was a difference.
I do remember regular leaded.
Of course, it's lead, but
Yep, I do remember leaded. It just barely, but I do remember it. But everything, when everything gets twisted, and again, this comes into the environmental stuff. Can anybody here disagree with me that climate change is definitely happening? I mean, it's happening.
it happened before we existed.
Well, that's a dumb thing to say.
Well,
because climate change does happen. I mean,
course it does.
Cooling, heating, it changes all the time. That's like a code word, climate change, because they never got away with global cooling.
Mm-hmm.
I just watched a video about this, and it wasn't Republican or Democrat or anything. It was just some guy talking. He's like, yeah, well, they said there was going to be a global what they call it, a mini ice age.
Oh,
So
was that the one with the two talking?
can you not?
Yeah, just zip it for a minute. Grown people talking, Ted.
Yeah.
Quiet.
All right, so mini ice age. I don't believe we're a car show and we're doing this.
But I mean, this
Okay.
is
You're right,
legitimate
you're right.
stuff.
Okay, so mini ice age.
Mhm.
So what do they do to combat that? They take your money, they impose more restrictions, and something else.
Well,
But wait. So 18 years later,
Mhm.
the world didn't freeze over. I'm sorry. They take your money, they impose restrictions, and they give more power to the government. 18 years later, there's no change. So
It's getting hotter, not colder.
in comes global warming. 15 years after that was instituted, still no change. What did they do? They took your money, instituted more regulations, made the government stronger.
well,
So, so just let me finish. So now they call it climate change.
Al and I get wound up, huh? All right.
No,
good.
now they call it climate change. So they're right. Okay. Yeah, is climate change real? Yeah, it is. It's been since the beginning of time, morons.
Right. And that we could certainly be contributing to it, but we're here. But here's the thing that I don't like. First off, the squeeze on the auto manufacturers has definitely brought us to higher power potential with better fuel economy. There's no two ways about it. You could not, with fuel injection, why did a lot of it come across? Well, fuel economy, emissions, look, they had carburetors. Remember the electric Q-Jet had the metering rods in it that would tap up and down when you turn the key on. And they had an HEI type distributor with no vacuum advance, and it had a little computer plug in the side of it. All that was done to make emissions better. But in the end, we learned from it, and we got better in the performance area. And that's fine. And I have no problem with that. But what I don't want is massive restrictions put specifically on our country when we're not the biggest polluters. If we like essentially turned off, we wouldn't make a dent in what's going out into the atmosphere.
China's the one that's killing everything. But
all right. Nixon was the president,
okay.
but just by luck.
Ooh, bad me. I didn't put my phone on silent. Bad Mike. It's a retard. Hold on.
So Nixon was the president.
Alan obviously wanted to be private.
Yeah, well, he's wrong anyway.
Oh boy, not going to engage Tom on that one.
He better not, because I'll knock his ass.
He said in his sanctimonious tone of text.
Yeah. While he was using the Google with 4 O's. So anyway, Nixon was the president, but he formed an exploratory cabinet level thing called the Environmental Quality Council. That's all it was.
Mm-hmm.
And just by luck, a Democrat, Gaylord Nelson, Gaylord. Not that there's anything wrong with Gaylord. He put a bill together creating the NEPA. So, wrong, Alan, as usual.
Google with 3 O's strikes again.
Yep.
Gotta watch those typos.
All right, car shit. We're gonna.
Yeah, the only reason I brought all that shit up is because I want what I want to drive, and if I drove it, and let's say they made 10,000 a year's worth of what I want to drive, that's not going to be like, it's not like this, global warming thing is like if Mike farted 3 times too many during the course of the day that it's going to, go to 150 degrees tomorrow.
I think you got to pay for that.
Probably. There'd be a fart tax.
Yeah, it's your carbon footprint.
But you know what I'm saying? Like this is pissing me off. So to me, I'm also for the people that want to help and put things in the right direction, but they're realistic about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it does hurt the auto industry.
But the country has gotten way cleaner. I mean, we are cleaner. Everything they do makes everything cleaner, but it's just like the fight against the NRA, man. If you give them an inch, they want 7 miles. And at some point, we got to say no.
I don't want to give them an inch. I want a diesel big truck that has a back on it.
Yeah.
So if I want to put something in it, like sheets of plywood or whatever, I can close it.
And we want Hellcats.
Look at Nissan is putting diesels in the smaller trucks and stuff like that now at Cummins. Aren't they? They put a smaller Cummins in the lighter trucks.
Sure.
And stuff like that. Yet we aren't doing anything like that. So why are they doing that? I mean, they probably build them here, don't they?
Well,
maybe.
What they should realize is that now that diesel and you know what else came out? That little truck, the mid-size thing, the Colorado or Canyon or whatever it is.
With a diesel?
That has a 4-cylinder diesel. It's like 2.8 liter, 2.3 liter.
Right.
And it doesn't sound too bad, but it's not particularly fast. But it's not why are they ignoring the SUV?
I don't know, but I just have to make mention too, and I forgot to before because it was hilarious, but somebody said that we should push for a Hayabusa engine in a smart car. I mean, that's a good swap.
That would be pretty badass.
It's an Ariel Atom kind of thing.
I'd be worried about those things. I mean, I was next to one of them.
Short wheelbase, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be crazy.
I was next to one of them in the Excursion, and I looked out the window, and it was my thing isn't lifted or anything, but I looked down at the thing. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, the front calipers on a Jeep Cherokee, an SRT 8 Jeep, are bigger than the tire and wheel combination on a smart car.
And this guy was driving this thing down the highway.
Yeah, sure he was.
I mean, a large bug would take him out.
Yeah. Was he texting while he was doing it too?
No.
Not smart people. Come on.
Yeah, okay.
Eyes front, hands 10 and 2.
Fast lane 53 and a half.
10 and 2 is not correct anymore.
Yeah, 10 and 2 is not correct anymore.
What is it, 9 and 3?
I learned that during my driver recertification.
Oof.
Yes.
9 and 3?
9 and 3.
Okay.
Because
airbag will hurt you.
Your airbag will, I guess,
Pardon me.
Stop you from trying to punch yourself in the head if the airbag goes off. Yeah. I didn't know that either, but I would love a lot cooler stuff overall. I really would, and I appreciate the advances. Look, to me, direct injection is a great idea because it's gonna improve performance. It makes it able for GM to meet whatever requirements the government has put on them. But do realize that if they backed off these requirements a little bit, what are you laughing at?
Joe just sent a link. Joe Dysinger sent a link. Apparently somebody put a Hayabusa in a smart car.
Oh, Jesus.
We got to, you know what? At some point, we got to get a video feed for this joint. I think it would be way more popular if they saw us knuckleheads, what we look like, and
We're just sitting here. It's three idiots in a room with headphones on talking to microphones. It's not
but we could have a big screen and we could have the Hayabusa powered smart car going.
Should we just do a live feed on Facebook though, so everybody sees everything? Posting. Our
Tad, you can't even manage to do the things I ask you on Facebook, let alone put up a live feed.
You couldn't even bring a roast beef sandwich from Roy Rogers today.
We're going to get into that one when we're at the end of the show. That'll be your little segment at the end here.
Power and feed.
Cowboy Cash.
Cowboy Cash, Tad.
Power and feed.
I mean, look, enough about the politics and EPA. I really want what I want. I think the automakers are missing the mark. GM, the EPA has nothing to do with GM designing but ugly cars. And I'm sorry, I'm a Corvette guy. I don't like the new ones. I haven't liked them since they came out.
Nope.
To be honest with you, I even kind of prefer my C5 body style, the hideaway light one.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. I like I actually think the front end, the light package in the front of the new Corvette is badass, although I like the 6 just as much. But they kill the back end of that car. It's too high, it's too tall, it's too short, there's too much angle on the window, and it looks like a CTSV.
Look at the C5 and C6. The back of the car is short, Tom. It's like that short, even on those.
Yeah,
it's short.
The C7's that short.
I don't know if it's that bad. And I mean, they did go, I'm not, the Corvette purist, but, we've already been through the socks and shoelaces and all that crap. They don't all have to have round taillights, but they did. I don't know.
I like the round taillights. I hate the square taillights.
I think GM is missing the mark in general. And maybe they're trying to be different because they see people like Dodge hitting it out of the park. And I mean, I'm not a Dodge guy. That'll tell you. I've fucked with Dodge forever. I've made fun of
He picked on my Challenger like you couldn't believe.
Constantly. So it has nothing to do with being brand loyal. They've just done a better job. And so is Ford. And I am a Chevy guy. That's primarily what I was involved with my whole life.
Or it could be that we're exactly right and the guys at GM are just plain stupid.
Well,
and have no style sense.
And
True.
They
scarf wearing, ugly car drawing morons.
Ascots or scarf?
I would be willing to bet too that government requirements for safety stuff are probably why the cars are getting heavier. It's got to be.
Well, yeah.
Like they must be raising the safety standards because the new Corvette, they had. I remember when they were talking about the C7, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. It's all aluminum chassis and the most advanced manufacturing techniques. And the thing, like, without the supercharger, is heavier than my car. And then when they got into the C7 Z06 type ones with the blower and all the other associated hardware, it got heavy. I mean, that's not what I don't know. I'm not.
Look at how short the back of that is.
I think it looks shorter. Because it ducks in.
Because it is shorter.
No, because I think the quarters cut in the back.
Yeah, whatever. Square lights.
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. I don't like the Camaro. I like the trucks. I'm right with the trucks.
The truck. Don't even get me started on the trucks either. The 2014 Tahoe. All the Tahoes are badass looking. Why don't they have that front end on the pickup trucks?
Well, the pickup trucks. All the trend now is for the trucks, the pickups,
the giant grill.
Yeah, to look more like over the road trucks.
Well, the thing was to take the Cadillac front end and put it on their trucks.
Yeah, people did that. Yeah. So, I bet they would sell more trucks if they had the cool Tahoe front end on it.
Well, I mean, the reason that I think the Dodge ended up looking like it did, I think part of it was to fit the motor because I think the hood had to be high. So I think they ended up dropping the fenders down a little bit. But that whole front end look, it made it
started its own thing.
Yeah, and I think that started it, and it made it look like a
real
truck.
Yeah, like a Power Wagon again.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably why they did it. I don't know. I really don't like much of anything. The trucks are acceptable to me. They're okay the way they look. Not going to tell you I'm crazy about the Fords or the Dodge. So I'm not particularly crazy about any of them. I just want a big ass SUV. I don't want a little one. I don't want something that's mid-size. My Excursion size is perfect. I fold the back seats down, 8-foot sheets of plywood, sheetrock, whatever. It's essentially a 1-ton truck underneath. Not rated for it, but that's what it's good.
We ought to call Toyota. I bet you they'd put a diesel in that Sequoia. Be badass.
Oh, my father bought it.
I thought everybody hated those things.
Sequoias?
We have one.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, the overall Toyota GM truck platform, I thought they weren't doing particularly well.
I don't know. We got a 4Runner and it's badass.
I know, but I don't ever see like the Tundras. Isn't that what they are?
Toyota.
No,
that's what I
got
got
all over the place.
I hardly ever see them.
That's what I came to your house to pick up the skids with. Tundra.
Who bought that?
My father bought it and gave it to my brother.
He buys everything.
Yeah, bought the Sequoia. Gave that to my brother too.
Isn't your father also the guy that bought that stupid ass Subaru?
Yep, he
All right,
is.
so his taste is definitely in question.
I got it. It was an interesting car to drive.
It fit for you. I can imagine nobody'd be surprised seeing you get out of that
Awesome
thing.
and snowman.
I just don't see many of them. I mean, look, if somebody did it and they did a full size sport utility vehicle, I'd be willing to give anything a shot.
Sure.
But I don't want it. I don't want a diesel because it's diesel. I want a diesel because of what you can do with the diesel.
Well, the reality is Chevy has a Suburban. They have a Duramax platform in a pickup truck. They can do it. There's no doubt they can do it. They're just too dumb to do it. Period. That's end of story.
I know that the Suburban platform versus the truck platform is slightly different because there were changes that were made. I can tell you this. The Suburbans, when GM went to the independent front end, the Suburban stayed non-independent.
When was that?
I don't know.
Because I can tell you this, like Tad just said, you could put a Cadillac Escalade front end on a Chevy pickup for I don't know how long. I mean, people do it still. So I don't know how much different they can be.
Well, I don't know about the newest GM diesel motors they have, but the Duraburb guys can put the motor in.
Yeah.
So the motor should fit. So unless it has something to do with something new they've done for Transits.
Well, the motor's tiny. Have you ever seen it? It's like an LS1.
No, I've never.
They're small.
Well, the only one I've worked on is on my brother's van. That's just a pain any way you want to look at it. Anything in a van sucks to work on.
What's your point?
I can't really see the size of the motor, but it's in a van, so it's it's where a small block Chevy was or something else, if it's there.
Okay, you got. We got you.
Testy. I mean, we're just trying to get
We got to the point.
clear,
Got the point. There it
concise
is,
statement out of
No,
you.
it's about the size of an LS1.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then
With the
it
turbo on top.
should go in just about anything.
Yeah, it would. There's no doubt. No doubt it could be done. They're just too dumb. Wait, Joe's saying something. Big trucks rock. All right. Nothing would give a praise to figure in a truck that scares those drivers to death.
Well, I have taken to doing that, and I know it's bad.
Go flying by them and rock them like a half a lane over.
Well, I
That's
do.
awesome.
I try.
do stuff like that, but the other thing I do with that thing, God, I'm gonna say it's so bad. All right, look, if any of you people out there ride bicycles, I want you to know I probably hate you. I really do. If you've got those little goofy, and I can't say the word I want to because of the fucking hate groups.
Spandex shorts.
Yeah, exactly.
And the helmet with the two little mirrors on
Yeah.
them.
They drive all over my area, and they're the most inconsiderate fucks in the world.
But wait, how about the guys on the recumbent bikes, the ones that you sit down on and you got the pedals way out in front of you?
Didn't you call them fruits?
Fruits. I don't know if that word was ever taken away from me.
Well, it's fruit. It's one of the
I've never
food
seen
groups.
anybody on the recumbent bike.
They're all in my cellar. You can go look at them.
Well, you just keep them over there because I got enough of these people on these bicycles. So God forbid there's a guy with a Prius or a bunch of bicycle guys, you know, that are jamming me up. I just roll off the throttle, let the motor come all the way down because you touch the brake, it disengages torque converter, and then just right to the floor. Gigantic cloud of black smoke that's so dense it just stays there for like 20 seconds.
Nice.
And the one old guy in the Prius is driving in front of me. We get to the traffic light, and he finally moved over. I got in the fast lane, the light changed. So now I'm pissed off that the light changed. I look back, and the guy's got his window down because he's having a cigarette. And I'm like, here we go. And the light turned green, and I waited till he was just a little bit ahead of the exhaust pipe, and then I jumped on it. So the truck started to accelerate. It got up like maybe 1,000 RPM or so above where idle was, and I was just like tailpipe right about with his A-post and right in his car.
Nice.
When the smoke cleared away from him, there was still smoke in his car.
They put his flashers on?
No.
He probably did.
But I mean, I hate those guys, and I do intimidate them with the big truck.
You do.
Ugh.
It's not very nice. Not very charitable.
Not a nice person or charitable.
But don't you miss Lucifer?
Yeah, that was my pickup, said Lucifer.
You could have put a big diesel on that thing.
But even back then, there was nothing any good. I would have never owned a diesel back then. I know you would have been the guy with 3 injector pumps and all your farm stuff that
we had
found.
a 6.2 liter diesel, and I think it was so slow it was retarded.
Well, that's what's wrong. People have
You're not supposed to say that word.
the vision.
slow?
No, retarded.
You're an idiot.
They
said it?
They have the vision. I can say it. It's my thing. They have the vision or the impression in their mind of the older stuff. And it's just not that way. That's why I want to crunch a drive one. He didn't like the noise. It wasn't for him. Hey, to each their own. But I mean, I would trade off the amount of noise for the fun factor of that any day. of the
Hell
week.
yeah. And the power.
Or just do a
Twice the power.
Cummins and Denny things now.
I got to
but-
shout out to Amy, too, by the way.
Again?
Yeah.
Who is this broad?
She's not a broad.
Who is this woman? Girl?
She's a
Kid?
relative.
How old is she?
Way too old for you.
Okay. Just checking.
30.
30?
Yeah.
It's kind of borderline.
Just shut up.
Okay. Just asking. It was just so the listeners want to know, Tom.
No, they don't. You want to know. Perv.
All right. What else we got?
We got a whole list of stuff.
You went to the Sam School.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, actually, Dave Localio from Head Games took me there. It was funny. He had to go. He was checking springs. Somebody.
What is the Sam School first for the listeners
It's
that
the
don't know?
School of Automotive Machinists. It's in Houston, Texas, and you can go there and literally learn every facet of building a race engine. It's pretty cool. Really is. They have a engine dyno, chassis dyno, all the machines you need, a couple CNCs, classrooms, computers, and it's an accredited deal.
Is it like what's that other one? The one that's in Ohio, UNOH or something?
I thought the one that was in Ohio was Sam's School too.
It might be. My friend Lumpy went there.
Lumpy.
Yeah. Well,
See friends at Sport?
no. But he used to help John. And
I know the Lumpy story.
Oh, you know the Lumpy?
yeah.
His real name is Kevin. He's a good dude. Just had a birthday.
He works on the
Happy
Cup
birthday,
team,
Kevin.
right?
Well, he was. I don't know what he's doing now. But I think he works on the Cup team's dirt cars.
Okay.
But he went to that school. So I might have been University of Ohio, but their automotive side. But it was pretty involved.
I think that's this.
Jeff said UTI. Is that it? Possibly?
No.
I think it's. I think there's a Sam School there because I think that's where they have the Engine Masters Challenge.
Yeah.
Maybe
in Ohio.
I'll ask Lumpy.
Yeah,
Kevin. Sorry, Lumpy.
Lumpy would know.
I don't think Lumpy wanted. Well, we got to stop saying
It's
Lumpy.
too late. He's Lumpy now.
Yeah, I'll have to ask him what his deal was. But yeah, those things. I mean, he said that it was beneficial. It wasn't bullshit. Like you could learn applicable stuff.
Well, Dave, they have a head porting part of the school, and that's where Dave learned his deal. And apparently, the guys that teach there and work there are pretty smart. Dave was actually their head of recruiting for a couple of years as well.
For what? For teachers?
No, for students. Yeah,
They actually recruit students?
Sure.
What do they do? Hang out in the high school parking lot and look at a guy that knows how to fix cars?
I think they do.
There's one.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to find now.
I think they probably go to Votex,
There you go.
with a half a bag.
Are there even Votex anymore?
With some
Yeah.
weed.
Still Somerset County.
Well, there's one in East Brunswick in Middlesex County.
Yeah.
Still, auto mechanics, and they build a house every year.
Really?
Yeah. And I guess for the girls, they go for, beauty and
Cosmetology and
Baking?
baking.
Baking.
Yeah. Sandwich making.
Yeah, there you go.
Dope.
I like sandwich.
Yeah.
I wanted to get that. I forgot.
Give me a sandwich.
Alan Croper says Ohio Technical. I think he just made that up.
No, I think he's right because it's UN. It's like UNOS or something. It's like I can picture it because they raced at Florida.
Ohio Technical is OT, not UN.
Well, I think it's OH or something. I remember looking at the thing because it was on all the cars.
All right, you got to confer with Alan later and dial this in.
No, I'm not. Me and him are going to argue again.
UNOH.
We're going to have another argument about
.edu?
subprime.
Wow, look at our guy.
What is it?
Look what's happening over there. He's actually on Google.
UNOH.edu.
UNOH.
Yeah, Travis
Okay, I
Cook
knew it was something
put it
like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, so you didn't find it.
So you didn't
Well, no,
find
it-
it.
Oh,
No.
you.
Requires work. What the hell?
You should go on failure.com every once in a while. Oh,
I know.
Alan's on there now.
Oh.
That's where he gets the search results.
Yeah.
Lumpy said it was good. He said that he learned a lot. And I got to tell you, and I mean this, he does listen from time to time. I mean this with all my heart. This kid, when he started helping John, and that's where he started to talk about you getting in the cars, you're
The
helping
wrong way.
John. Okay. He went from working with John to where he is today. And he's like one of the guys. Like he helps a lot of circle track guys with shocks. I give him a lot of credit. I'm very happy to see he went. Talk about progression to go from John to where he is now. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
B-Doc just, he just put in, fucking spell check. Failure.com/GM. That could be the name of our segment.
I do have a domain name
I know.
branded like that.
Yeah.
So what does that school do? Essentially the same thing. They teach you automotive racing engine basics, or just automotive, or is
What,
it
Sam School?
Yeah, I mean, what's their range? Is it start from basic automotive knowledge to high end stuff?
Yeah, from what I've seen on TV,
I think you need to go in there with some basic knowledge, and they show you how to run a boring bar, a Bridgeport, a hone. I think they got a CV616. I forget what hone they have. They have all the automotive machining equipment, and in 9 months, apparently, you start a project and you finish it.
Okay.
And do every facet.
And correctly.
Well,
hopefully correctly.
That other school did that too, because they had to do their own race cars.
Yeah.
I think they did chassis and everything. Well, do any of these schools actually prepare you for like high level work, like Indy work or F1 work, or is that
no? I think they prepare you for, the mid range, build a small block Chevy, big block Chevy bracket motor. I mean, I don't think anybody is leaving there and immediately building pro stock engines. You get that refinement with a team.
You still have to get under somebody and have them.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it was easy for somebody to teach you to build a pro stock motor, I mean, a lot of other people would do it.
Well, think about how much time it takes to build a pro stock motor.
Yeah.
And translate into how long it would take to teach somebody to do that. It's like a lifetime.
I'm just happy that there's still kids today that could even understand, and going to a school like that might be interesting.
I know. And that kind of...
They showed a lot of women in that school, too, when you watch it on Sunday morning.
They're in the Subaru class.
Yeah.
Right, whatever.
Who said that?
Don't.
You did. We got a lot of Subaru listeners on right now.
That's okay.
Hey, B-Doc, that meant laugh my ass off to B-Doc, not body.
Nice.
That was spell check hammering me.
So did you actually go through the school?
Yeah, yeah. No, I got a whole tour. Nice. 2 nice CNCs. They CNC head porter.
Really?
Yeah.
So the
guys program. Yeah. It's pretty badass. The only thing I didn't ask is how much it costs.
Yeah.
But it's 9 months. They have a tuning class now, where a 9-month tuning class where you can go there and learn to tune a car from start to finish, including the chassis dyno.
Really?
Yep.
Got to be a lot less than, quote unquote, regular college, because I know like what you've told me the college bills you're looking at are.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have asked, but whatever. I mean, and actually the tuning class, I think, is 6 months, not 9 months. But
interesting.
A really cool place.
Well, listen, if any of you guys got kids and you're looking to get rid of them and you want them to learn something productive, send them down there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you know they're not college material, I mean, if they were licking the windows, until they were 15, then you probably got to send them to an automotive thing, I would think.
Well,
was that insensitive?
It was very insensitive, and I think it's just the opposite. If they're looking at windows, you could send them for, French philosophy or some shit.
Oh, there you go.
Some useless thing at some college.
Kind of arts major.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
Now that was insensitive.
I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, probably not.
All right. What else we got?
Sam School. Hey, I just wanted to mention Jared Holt from Street Outlaws. He had his GTR. God.
Shame on you.
He had his Supra.
It's as bad as me saying Jeff Impala.
Yeah, I know. He had a Supra at TX2K and made first 3 passes he's ever put on the car, and he went as fast as 842, 163 mile an hour.
Wow.
Like real street driven. He was at in our hotel complex at night, and it was a 45-mile drive to the track.
Yeah, this is like a real street car.
This is a street car.
Like drive the thing around. He had live video going on his drive, on the highway to the track. Mm-hmm.
And it's very, mild-mannered. And I know it's gone 802 or something like that. I think it might have gone in the 7s.
Jeez.
But, yeah.
Wow.
Badass. Beautiful car, too.
A listener did ask, mistakenly, how Alan Subaru is coming.
Yeah. No.
No.
He's all about the jet ski.
Tad, not to be compared to Alan. Tad is the guy with the Subaru, and I think that it is a good topic because I have not heard too much of a status update since it has left my premises. I know the motor's out.
Yeah, the motor's out. That's kind of on me. I haven't gone down there because I was away. I'm going to go there tomorrow.
Well, I was going to go down there today, and I realized, they're closed on Mondays.
Yeah, they are. I'm going to go tomorrow and look at some stuff and put that thing on a pallet, and I'm going to try to get it to IAG this week.
And IAG, knows everything with the short block. Everything's under control there. We're just waiting on those parts getting there.
No, there's no parts to get there. Everything's there.
No, I mean Tad's parts.
My head's to be machined
Yeah,
and
Tad
swapped
parts.
over.
Yeah, because
Once Tad's engine gets there, it'll be a week or so.
yeah, get the head machined or the heads machined for the compression side, which I guess I'm sure JJ does there. Get that part done, and then it gets back together, and then I guess they're going to put it right back in the car and tune it. Did you make any progress on the stuff you have wrong with it, Tad?
I called Mello. He said he's going to get back to me with the price, and that's why I was going to go today and talk to Rich. But again,
Get back to you on a price for what?
To have the
listeners want to know.
The knuckle has the bearings are shot. So he's going to get to me on like how much it's going to take for them to pull it off, because it's been you got to pull out the huge bolts on the bottom, which are a nightmare to get out.
Yep.
Did you get tires since they're totally dry rotted and mostly losing air?
Not yet.
Well, they're going to.
I was going to go down there and talk about pulling the car out. So
all
I
right,
can get the tires off.
go. Are you working tomorrow?
Yes.
B-Doc asked what Tad's doing on this whole project.
Yeah.
Essentially nothing. Tad is going to be the recipient. He's paying. He is paying.
I towed it down there, and
you towed it down there.
Yeah.
You supervised.
You followed the tow truck.
The
then I had to
AAA arrangements.
drive it off the truck and the 10 feet to the freaking lot, and that's it. So
For Christ's sake.
Okay. Well, look, we're gonna. Tad has made a variety of references to food. I want to point out what we're dealing with here.
Well, I got to say one thing. Travis just said, if I can get Junior to tune a thing, Tad would lose his shit, basically, which is true. But yeah, Junior's not going to tune that thing.
No. There was one thing,
he's tuned it
Tad.
before, but anyway,
He would, but Cleo's going to tune it because that's part of the deal.
Tad had brought up something about he's got a piggyback computer, and I know we've been down this computer road.
yeah, Rich
before.
already said that's gone.
Well, I mean, I think you got. I'm not saying a Rich isn't the guy to listen to.
Right.
I mean, we got to listen to the good guys. I thought the good guys said you kept that computer so you could use the cam phasers on whatever side it was.
I'm getting from other people, forget about the cam phasers.
Okay.
So
Why don't you call Junior and ask him what to do?
You don't answer the phone when I call him.
Wonder why that is.
But he calls me. I always answer. So
All right.
Why don't you ask Travis Cook? He's on there right now. Travis, would you? He's got a 2-liter JDM motor with AVCS. Would you delete that, or would you keep it if you had the ability to keep it?
yeah, but it's going to a 2.7.
Can you just not say anything? It doesn't matter how big the motor is. AVCS is AVCS. It works. What are you going to say?
Look at Tad. He gave you the indignant.
Yeah. Well, he's like, well, I don't need it because I won't need any.
He gave you
I don't need any low end torque now.
He gave you an that was just about ready to be followed with the finger snap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or maybe hold the hand up. That's where he was.
Okay.
He went there.
I didn't ask you that.
Depends what cam's in it. I think stock cams.
Stock
Jeff.
cams.
So, well, whatever. You have to get that all resolved.
It's a 207 head. You know what? He wants to change the computer because it's not OBD2, right?
Yeah.
So you won't be able to go through.
Inspection.
Who cares? I
Me,
don't have
period.
anything fucking inspected.
Good for you. I need it.
Why can't you just borrow a computer, put it in, and
That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to put my computer in, just get it flashed so I could take it through inspection, and then put the AVCS back in.
okay.
But that all depends on if they can hack that AVCS or not.
Well, I mean, if you plug a computer in that doesn't have connections to it, where does it go to defaults? Does it just stop working, or does
it stops working? It just drops to nothing.
Travis said he had one pass in OBD2,
Okay.
a JDM,
Mine won't.
and Jeff says the only reason to delete is if you have giant cams. So, I mean, it helps. They didn't put it. They don't do that stuff for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Don't me with that obstinate.
He is really.
He's
really like, I don't know, like just belligerent, isn't he?
He's going to end the way of Alan Croper.
Okay. I'm
not going jet skis.
We can
Electric.
We can close the show out, Thaddeus.
He's going to get way more grief off the air.
February 5th.
Yeah.
At about, I don't know, say maybe, what was it? 5:30, 6 in the morning. Where were you?
No clue.
Were you perhaps waiting at a food restaurant?
No.
Wasn't that the opening day of Chick-fil-A?
March 5th.
That wasn't. No, it was. They opened at 7.
Oh,
so I was there at 6:30.
Oh, the Chick-fil-A deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. My
Yes.
bad.
I got screwed on that one.
Could you tell the listeners that story real quick? I just want the listeners to know that you are the guy that waits at a fast food place at least, we'll call it a half hour ahead. We're being kind.
Right.
To be one of the top 100 to get in.
No matter
Top
what,
101.
we're talking at 6:30 in the morning.
I know.
So continue, Todd.
So I went there. If you're one of the first 101, you get a debit card. That's good for about $500 in food for a year's worth of food.
And what number were you?
I was 102 out of 101 head count.
But you have redeemed yourself.
Because I went to Roy Rogers
And
I
did the
got a
same
Cowboy
thing again.
Cash card, but it's only $100. But hey, it's $100 of free Roy Rogers.
I mean, I know people sit out for days to get their kids into colleges or prep schools or stuff like that. But I didn't know people sat out in front of Roy Rogers to get $100 worth of Cowboy Cash.
No, people did. I went out there. I stood for an hour.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure a lot of people like you were out there.
I just wanted to paint a picture of what's really going on here.
Yeah.
Free food. What the hell?
Since B-Doc asked, what does Tad do?
Yes.
Okay, that's what Tad does.
Tad stalks grand openings of restaurants and attempts to get Cowboy Cash or Chick-fil-A, whatever, Cluck Club cards, whatever the hell they give.
I would have gave him the 100.
Do you have anything else to say, Todd?
Damn good roast beef and cheese, man. What the hell?
Nice job, Mr. Technical Difficulty.
Because it was on the fucking thing already, you dickheads. All right, this is getting out of control because now it's going to turn on me, and that's no good.
All right, good night, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Go to Roy's.
Yeah, go to Roy Rogers. Mike, nice job as usual.
Stellar. See you next week.
Bye.